heading into week 16, there actually are a pretty good number of waiver wire guys you can grab. A lot of them are situational opportunities that developed. You got Gus Edwards. It was supposed to be the Kenneth Dixon show in week 15, but Gus Edwards was called upon, and he responded in an enormous way. 19 rushes for 104 yards and a touchdown. He holds acceptable risk versus reward upside heading into week 16. So if you need a running back or a flex, he's a great grab, considering a lot of people dropped him heading into last week, preparing for the fantasy football playoffs in the final 2 weeks, grabbing backup defenses, backup quarterbacks, backup tight ends, and he was dropped in a significantly high number of leagues. So grab Gus Edwards and start him as a running back 3 or a flex heading into week 16. Jamal Williams, another situational opportunity, emerges from Aaron Jones spraining his MCL, and despite the Packers' playoff hopes being shattered and the fact that you don't really know what they're going to do with any of their positions in the final 2 weeks, Williams holds some pretty decent flex appeal and running back 3 type upside, maybe even low end running back 2 appeal in leagues where you're spread thin or huge rosters, a lot of leagues, maybe 14 team leagues. So Jamal Williams should be grabbed for sure if available in really any format. The best wide receiver out of all the wide receivers on waivers right now has to be Robert Foster. On depth charts all around, you'll see him listed as the number 2 or number 3 for Buffalo, but make no mistake about it, he is the number 1 fantasy football wide receiver in Buffalo with back-to-back 100-yard games. He had 104 yards and 0 touchdowns in week 14, and then dropped the 4 catches for 108 yards and a touchdown last week. He's not a 2-week wonder type guy, though. He had a 94-yard game with a touchdown in week 12, and in week 10 he had a 100-yard game. So the guy is proving to be possibly the future wide receiver of that offense, building great rapport with Josh Allen, and I have to say I'm really excited about Buffalo's future in the next year or two. I think they could turn into one of those turnaround franchises, and I really like this team, and I think they could do some great things in the offseason and through the draft, which will help them take that next step and become that turnaround type franchise. Robbie Anderson might have been dropped in a few leagues, probably grabbed last week after his return from injury, his 76 yards and a touchdown in week 14. But if he's available, he just dropped 7 receptions for 96 yards and a touchdown last week. And then Ballage, the running back for the Dolphins. Will he start? Will he not? Who knows? Frank Gore's out for the year with a foot injury. So that kind of opens the door for Ballage. And it's tough to know what the coaching staff's going to do at running back or any position. They've misused their players for years and years now. So it's tough to predict if they're going to use Kenyon Drake moving forward. Was he hurt last week? The rumor is that he was not. So you have to think they're going to turn to Ballage, at least give him some double-digit action. And last week, 12 carries, 123 yards, and a touchdown. So he's getting over 10 carries, and he's getting 3 or 4 receptions. He could be a decent flex and running back 3 find heading into week 16.